someone asked me recently, and it's just like, what advice would you give to someone? And I'm like, it's again sounds so cliche, but just put yourself out there, get into different gallery shows. If you find events that are art related, put yourself in them, because you need to be seen. You need to be mixing with people, because like anything in life, it's about who you know, not what you know.
Once we were spacemen. I tend to play weird people, usually aliens and robots and things that don't have romance.
I once didn't get a job where they were looking for a Nathan Fillion type. Once we were spacemen. Alan, you've never met Louis Jensen.
I haven't. I only know he's the guy who did the art for our show. Like the when you look at it on like our little thing.
You've heard me mention his name many times because I hang out with him.
Yes, and yeah, when we were in London last, when I left, you went off on that really cool art tour with him.
That's right. I'm so excited for you to meet Louis, because his life was kind of like yours in that it's full of these bizarre adventures that you tell them and people go, what?
I looked over his CV, which is the English version of his
resume.
Resume. That's exactly yep. And which is the French version of resume. Right. And I think his is even more extraordinary. I can't wait to hear how some of these things link up. Is how you go from this to this to this to this. It's just it's quite an adventure.
He's involved in incredible projects that are so huge. They're larger than life. And Alan, I think you're going to understand that Louis himself is a little larger than life.
Life's pretty large, but okay. I'm interested.
Let's do this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Once We Were Spacemen. In space, which is that black, inky part of the above sky that you can't see from the Earth, but we are in actual black, inky spot while on Earth, although we see sunshine, but not at night. You should also feel in the day your spaciness, which we do for Once We Were Spacemen, still are, as are you. With Ned Fillion, Alan Tudyk.
Wow. That was
gnarly.
There was some verbosity. There's some wordsmithing going on in there.
It almost made sense.
I didn't quite track it, but it felt like it was smart enough that clearly it's my fault if I don't track that.
Right, yeah. Because the inky black, I think it's just got too sciencey once I got into that part.
Alan, have you ever met Louis Jensen face to face?
I not only haven't met him, I haven't said his name out loud. So I might even say Louis as opposed to Louis.
Which is how it's spelled. That's how his name is spelled.
It's not how it's spelled.
Louis is spelled, I have it in my phone with an S on the end.
It is with an S on the end.
And so that's how it's spelled.
No, Lewis is actually spelled Lewis. It's only Americans that spell Lewis with Louis.
That's correct. We have right here a cultural difference.
Cultural disconnect there. Yeah.
There we go. But I just go for the French Louis.
King Louis.
Where if you were to Google Louis Jensen, a Dutch author comes up. That is not the Louis Jensen we're talking to today.
So I read that novel for nothing? Jesus.
In Dutch?
Thank God, it was so boring. Most of the words were unintelligible.
This is Louis Amadeus Dane Jensen.
Boom. Nice.
Louis, why four names?
Well, first of all, the name came from my whole man was in prison when I was born and said it as a joke to my mom, and she put it down on the birth certificate.
I see.
And Dane is his actual name, and Jensen's obviously his last name, but Louis Amadeus. But I think it actually does come from the fact that my great granddad enjoyed Louis Armstrong and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. That's the story I like to tell anyway, rather than the former.
Rather than joke gone wrong on birth certificate.
Yeah, and I think, where I come from, like, my mum wanted to try and make me more regal than I was, than where we came from. She was just like, my son's going to be posh someday.
Did that work out?
I don't know. Look where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture of class. When I think of class, I think Louis Jensen.
Guy with gold teeth covered in tattoos? Yeah, that works.
If one were to explain Louis Jensen, Louis, you're coming in at what, 6'4"?
6'4", 200 pounds.
Okay, you're 6'4", about 200 pounds. How many stone is that?
I think I've been here too long to even convey it, but round it's like 14 and a half, 15 stone.
I just like hearing that.
14
15 stone.
Such an inaccurate, it's so between things.
Do you know what it is in kilos? What pounds is in kilos? Do you know the conversion of that? I don't know.
Nobody knows
I know
that. Not even Canadians know
15
that.
stone is around 95 kilos.
Tall fella, athletic. Louis, you've run marathons and whatnot.
I did the New York one last year.
You have tattoos all about your body, your short-cut hair. How many gold teeth?
I got 4 permanent ones.
And do you have any gems in there?
No gems. It hasn't been bejazzled.
Not yet. Any plans?
Not yet.
Any plans to gem up your...
You never know, but I am thinking about getting gold implanted nails. I'm really contemplating having... I don't know how it works, but I think they can remove a nail, implant a gold fingernail.
Does it grow like the other ones? Because I see a money-making venture here.
Nah.
Okay.
Just fixate.
It's so difficult to know where to start because I want to start at the beginning, but that won't tell you why Louis is here today. Louis is connected to us for a couple of reasons. One, he's a friend of mine through Michelle Chapman for many years. Two, Louis is an accomplished artist. He does the artwork for Once We Were Spacemen. You've heard his name many times in the closing credits of this show. Also, Louis has a connection through a friend of yours, Alan, in Mark Addy. One of the first guests we had on this podcast.
Right.
And one I'm really proud of. One that just I thought was a really cool get.
Yeah, he's a smart fellow. And
Louis, would you please tell us your Mark Addy story?
Yeah, I really enjoyed his podcast as well. But when I was younger, I did Nathan hyped this up as if I knew him in
This is wonderful.
deeper than I did. But when I was younger, around 16, I used to do Model United Nations, and we did an exchange with a school in Newport in the OC. And we went for a little excursion day, we went to Universal Studios. Anyway, so we're lining up for the Jurassic Park ride there. And they kind of held the line. And I was like, what's going on here? And they basically held it up for your friend so he could have his own prop. So what I did, I was
excuse me, cunts, I've got to go.
Essentially.
Right.
So I decided to, I was like, fuck that. So I hopped the line, jumped the fence, and jumped in the back as they were about to move, and just hopped in the back. And he went, "Oh, you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, you all right?" And then we did the ride together. It was amazing. It was just me at the back and him and his family at the front. So I think I ruined the photo on that one as well. It was just me at the back.
You know, they have that framed at home and everybody's looking at it going, "Who's this?"
Yeah.
The back guy. No idea.
I've been waiting in that line for ages as well. I'm not special treatment.
Alan, you're going to find through conversation with Louis Jensen, he's going to drop some bombs every once in a while. And you're going to go, wait a minute, go back.
Okay.
There are so many of these. They're going to be hard to gather up into one spot.
Okay.
But since he brought it up, the Mock United Nations that you were attending when you were 16, you also went to the United Nations, did you not? Whether you met the leader?
It's
Kofi Annan.
Kofi Annan at the time, yeah. It was.
Oh, really?
It really was good memory, because obviously it's switched out since then. But yeah, we went to the International Court of Justice in The Hague, and we did the big conference there. My school was actually the only state school, you would call it public school here, but public school for us is private school in the UK. It was the only state school that got invited. And so anyway, it's a huge Model United Nations conference. There are people from Eton and all these different schools from around the world that come together and obviously do the MUN. And our school, because it was such a low school, we were representing Djibouti in Africa. That was our country.
Oh, gotcha.
One of the best named countries, I think, in the world. Djibouti.
Yeah, and obviously being from a state school, we played on that, and the people there from the private schools weren't super impressed with our jokes. But so the opening kind of conference, they had Kofi Annan do a talk. So he came up, did the speech, and then sat down. And they were whittling through different speeches and then introducing different people. And then they kind of had time to make up. And they were like, does anybody want to come up and say something? And I was like, oh, yeah, this is perfect time. I just thought they wanted to fill the time. I didn't realize they were expecting something political or something in the intellect. So I went up there on stage and I sung Lionel Richie, Hello. Got on stage and went, hello, is it me you're looking for? And then I got halfway through. I could see it in your eyes until they literally, someone ran up on stage and just covered the mic. But Kofi Annan found it super funny. I could see that man was entertained for sure.
I bet it was a nice break from all the bullshit that they have to shovel at the UN.
Exactly. They loved us, and it's so funny because at the end of every conference anyway, again, because we were the only state school, we used to play Jarvis Cocker, Common People. We used to play Pulp, Common People. And we used to dance in a circle with that, and they'd all be trying to get into the group. We're like, no. This one's for us. This one's for us.
Did you hear William Shatner's remake of that song, Common People?
He did a remake of Common People?
It's badass. I recommend it. This will be Alan's song of the day.
What are you listening to?
What are you listening to? What are you listening to, Alan? Can you turn it down? It's Common People by William Shatner.
All right, that's good.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but yes, that's brilliant.
Now, Alan, Louis Jensen and I met in 2018. We were just tracking this. We met in 2018 in an artist's studio, Deface.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying it to face.
I've seen his work now all over the world because I do a little bit of traveling. It's all over LA right now. There's a spot downtown where we go film all the time, and I see massive murals by Deface down there. What is that area of town down there?
Are you talking about the Artist District?
Yeah,
it's literally the downtown, the Artist District. Yeah. That's on, and that particular piece, which is opposite where you film, is that love mural that we did, and it's at Corey Helfer Gallery, which is a gallery that we show at. Huge gallery, but that's right opposite where you film.
Exactly. We're down there all the time. We're down there all the time. So, but that was the fella's studio in London where I very first met you. A couple of days later, we took a helicopter to Stonehenge and met this professor from some prestigious university who said, guys, I think I got this place figured out. I think I know what it's all about. And gave us the lowdown on Stonehenge, as only a professor could. It was incredible.
He bored us to death. What?
No. He was actually super interested.
Oh, really?
Nathan's missing the part at the end where he gave us a very educated guess in terms of formation, etc., like that. And he was like, and then essentially at the end, he was like, and that's when the Father Sky just basically penetrated Mother Earth. And we were like, oh.
The whole thing's about sex, guys. The whole
Everything
thing's
was
about sex.
Everything was about sex.
Well, it sounds like they were married, so it was at least good because it was.
It was fascinating. It was really fascinating. And at the same time, too, he said, by the way, you guys, I heard you came in a helicopter. So on your way back, just scan the landscape because there's Stonehenges everywhere. This is just the most famous one.
Mm-hmm.
But they're kind of littered across the countryside here. And sure enough, you see like a little town. There's a church, there's a little town, there's a little store, there's the school, and running diagonally through it was a Stonehenge. You can see it from the sky. Yeah.
That was a beautiful day. Then we went to a Fatboy Slim rave afterwards where Christian Narn played as well and supported Fatboy Slim. So
no way.
Right. So right after that, we were at, that was called the Crystal Palace. That was quite an experience.
It's Alexandra Palace.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ali Pally, we call it.
And Fatboy Slim was the headlining act. But Christian Narn, who everybody knows as Hodor from Game of Thrones, is also an extremely talented DJ.
Yeah.
He was one of the fellas who opened up for Fatboy Slim. So we're backstage with Christian and meeting all these DJs and people coming through. And then you go out there and you see like, these are the fans that follow the DJs. It's craziness.
So they follow the fans that follow the DJs. They go like rave to rave to rave to rave, like the Grateful Dead did way back in the day, taking acid, but they take Molly.
I guess I'm going to leave that to you, Louis. Is that what happens with the DJs?
I'm not so clued up on the house DJs, but what we used to do a lot of, well, not me personally, but we used to have a lot of illegal raves back in the day in London. And before the ordinance order in, I forget what year it was, but we used to, there used to be a lot of illegal raves that were hosted all the way through like West London out by Acton or where the warehouses are, and a lot in East London as well by the Docklands and stuff like that. But they were very well organized. Highly illegal, but the police kind of let them go because there was always like paramedics that were showing up, and you don't always get like, you know, a secret, right? So you buy your ticket and then you get the address on the day and then you turn up. But these were drum and bass and jungle raves. That's what I was more into than the kind of house music that the Fatboy Slim was doing, for sure. But I did go to, and it was the only time I ever got mugged. Only time in my life I ever got mugged. But we went to Brighton when Fatboy Slim did Brighton on the beach. And I always remember I remember being like 12 or 13, and we got off the train down by Brighton Beach, and there was just these bigger boys. They just like, and I swear to God, any time I've ever been bugged, but like these bigger boys kind of walked up the street. They're like flicked out a tiny little flick knife. They're like, "Give us your phone, give us your wallet," and they were like, and the rave hadn't even started at that point. And yeah, we gave them the phone and the wallet. But then like when we went back, I remember going back to school, and oh man, we got bullied hard for that. We're like, you got mugged. And I was like, fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
They piled on. They're on the side of the muggers.
yeah. Where we come from, you can't let your guard down. You gotta be able to handle your own, you know?
Wow.
At 13, you gotta, oh man, that's high expectations.
If you get those gold fingernails, a mugging is going to be a very different experience. I mean, yes, there'll be a lot of scratching, but you know, they'll make weapons. But still, if they take those off,
man,
give us your fingernails, mate. Give us your fingernails.
They'll just snip off the ends of the fingers.
Nails and teeth, right here, putting the
nails and teeth.
All right. From that point, wait, we've had many adventures over the years, Louis. I don't want to say again, I don't know where to start. I want to, and now I want to kind of go back in time. You were a young man in London, growing up. You were going to crazy raves, maybe got involved in some gang stuff. Maybe there's some wrong side of the track stuff in there. When did you start with the painting? Did it start with tagging?
There was an artist, he's still one of my favorite artists actually. He moved more into tattooing, but Word to Mother. We grew up together, but he was a school generation older than me. So I was always like very into I suppose American culture, right? Hip hop was very prevalent for me. Basketball, I played basketball for England at under 13s. Like I loved basketball. And like, so Word to Mother, he was, like I say, a school generation older than me. So he's 5 years older than me. So I always saw him tagging when we were going to basketball practice and stuff because he was in
His name is
Word to Mother. His name is Tom Park, but like his graph name,
his tag name,
which is the most ridiculous graph name because it's like 12 letters. It's very difficult to paint that in a quick time. So he ended up shortening it to just like painting Mother. But I saw him and was you know just trying to copy and tag. And I used to write lad, which is because my name is Louis Amadeus Dane Jensen. So I used to write lad, and then you know the connotation with lad that comes into the UK as well. So it's like I don't know if that's quite a double entendre, but there's something to it anyway that, you know, even back then I thought was kind of cool. And I actually evolved into writing King Lad or KNG Lad because I wanted to drop the I because I didn't want to be so obvious with the King. It's so ridiculous, dude. It really is. I mean, like tagging your name on a wall, I'm nearly 40 years old and I still do it. You know, but like for me, it's fun. It's something about getting your name out there. But I suppose, yeah, going back to your original question, I always had this life with duality, right? Like I was always academically successful in sport, but then where I grew up and how I grew up, like drugs and that kind of life was very prevalent in like the surroundings. And, you know, it's the cliche of like when you grow up in that, you do have this impression that there's nothing else for you, like you have to follow down that route, right? So that's the kind of route that I did go down for many years until I got a point where it was kind of like you take, you know, it's a fork in the road, right? You go this way, you would go that way. And I was very fortunate. I feel like fate fell on my side with how things unfolded. I think I told you before, Nathan, but yeah, my partner at the time, found out he got arrested just by chance. And then I kind of fled the country and lived in a cave house in Spain.
So that's the thing. You dropped this bomb on me one time. You said, "Yeah, I got into a little trouble and I had to go to Spain and live in a cave." But
Okay, wait.
a little more rounded out that story. There are houses. There are houses built into the sides of hills and mountains, like cave houses.
Yeah. So just so happened, like my partner didn't turn up to a safe house one day, and then I was like, "This is a bit weird." So I pulled around to his house. He lived in this cul-de-sac. I'm trying to shorten the story real quick, there was pig wagons everywhere. There's police cars everywhere. I was like, "Oh, he's been
Is
nicked."
Pigwagon another tagger? Is that his name? Pigwagon.
My new tag name.
Sorry, no. Pigwagon
is right. A pig wagon unless they ride it on a pig wagon.
Right.
I'm going to be pig wagon, but it's going to be like wagon Mateo, like pig wagon. Like I'm wagging a pig around.
So there was tons of cop cars around, and then I knew he'd been nicked. Arrested. And
I liked it.
And then I got my driver at the time. I grabbed a bag of cash and then jumped on a plane, next plane out, which was Amsterdam. So I was in Amsterdam for a minute.
What was the bag of cash?
I literally went back home and piled a bag of cash. Just a rucksack of cash.
There's so many questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you get the cash for the bag? Is that the tagging makes the money at that point, or that's the drugs?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Exactly.
Get your bag of cash. And he was being nicked by the pig wagons because the tagging or because of drugs?
Drugs.
Got it.
They raided his
So
house.
while he's being arrested, you're hot-footing out of town.
Oh, yeah. And then a friend's dad had, he had this cave. So I got wind of it and my friend was like, "Hey, we can go there. We can chill there. It's beautiful." It's the town's called Fusa, which is a tiny, small little town just about 45 minutes outside of Granada in southern Spain. And they have these crazy cave houses. And I'm not joking. They're literally houses that we would make in extra rooms. We had like a Kango, and we were making like extra rooms in the house. Like you can keep just extending it as much.
Wow.
It was insane. You had to do it at a certain angle, but it had electric, it had the internet. We didn't have any windows. That was the issue, but it was so beautiful. Like there's an orange tree on the outside and I wake up, there'd be the lady that come with the trolley with the bread every morning.
Oh,
and I bet it was nice and cool in there. I bet the temperature was beautiful.
Gorgeous. But you would just sleep for hours because you're like, it's still whatever time, you know. You wouldn't. The sense of time went out.
Like sleeping in a casino.
When I was going to say went out the window, but there are no windows.
Now,
how amazing!
You and I have talked about art, and I shared with you that I'm not a big fan of taggers. I see someone tagging something and I'm thinking that's kind of weak. It's really, you're not really being artistic. I think you're just kind of ruining stuff for other people. And you explained to me something about tagging is wonderful when you see something up on a spot where you go, how did that guy get up there?
Yeah.
And that's where tagging starts to get its worth.
For me, for sure. I mean, again, all art, and I hate calling tagging graffiti art because when I do it and people say to me, "Oh, that's an art," and I'm like, "Don't ruin my hobby. I like to vandalize sometimes. It's not the same." But you know, art is always subjective. If you ever hear me say art is subjective, by the way, that's code for me not liking something. If someone's like, "Oh, what do you think of this?" and I'm like, "Well, you know, art is subjective." it's code for me maybe not liking something, which is more and often the case, but. So, yeah, for me, especially when it comes to tagging and especially graffiti, it's more about the reach, right? Like and a lot of younger generation of graffiti writers these days are rappelling down the side of buildings.
Wow.
You know, like 400 or 500 feet in the air, rappelling down certain buildings. Rams, who's this graffiti kid from New Zealand, he represents the crew MSK as well, which started out of LA, but he is kind of king of that around the globe right now, just literally rappelling down buildings. So it's like, I look at things and I'm like, well, how did you get up there? How did you get to that point? There's certain bridges that I know that people would have had to climb. Their tiptoes are on the edge of the bridge and their fingers like that, and then got to a point. And also then you got to think about CCTV and being looked at. So there's a 10-foot and a pair piece that is above by London Bridge, right by London Bridge station, that I find phenomenal. It's right in the center, and it's one of the most watched CCTV like areas in the whole of London, especially after the attack that happened a few years ago, right? And it's a full color piece. So it's not only just an outline. They've actually done their full outline. They filled it in. There's a fade in it. There's a couple of highlights. And I'm just like, how? So that's where I get a buzz from. And then there's also there is a difference between graffiti and street art. Graffiti essentially is a narcissistic hobby, right? It's just how many times can you get your name up? You want other graffiti writers to see it. It's a code. And then there's street art and public art. And that to me feels like it's more like a gift, right? It's more like a gift to the public.
Yeah.
So
whereas art isn't a hostage in a museum, it is out there amongst the people. It's free and it's for everyone.
Exactly. And I do also feel like again, these are just my opinions, right? Like I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but with street art, it can transition into a gallery. Now, for me, seeing graffiti transition to a gallery upsets me purely because graffiti is the wild animal. Like, I don't want to see it tamed. I don't want to see it in a gallery space. Like, I don't want people to transfer their graffiti into the gallery space. But there is graffiti writers who have developed their contemporary art, right? Like Futura is one of my huge heroes, one of the godfathers of graffiti, based out of New York.
What's his name?
Smashed a ton of trains back then. Futura 2000.
Futura.
Really inspirational to me, just in the pure fact that like he has his graffiti, but then he has his art. They're separated, and one can influence the other, but they're two different entities. And it's contemporary art goes into the gallery space. I'm just not a fan of seeing tags or graffiti or full blown pieces and throw ups in a gallery space. It just feels like a caged tiger.
So you're a young man, you're engaged in graffiti. You certainly have an artistic ability. You certainly have some art inside you that wants to get out, and you're in the scene and you're with these people and you're tagging alongside, or you're making art pieces alongside other folks fully illegally. Mm-hmm. What point did you come to where you said, what if I did this? And you started organizing artists with buildings and you started making a business out of this, as far as saying, I'm going to set up this building with this artist and get a massive mural done.
Like an agent or like a talent manager or some kind of...
Exactly. What is it?
I'm a creative catalyst is what I am.
Nice.
Is that what it says on your business card? And do you have a business card? And is it spray painted?
That's my tag, creative catalyst. It's very long, but yes, and I don't know how to spell catalyst. I'm sorry, go on.
Creative catalyst is probably the best way to describe it, because I always like the phrase, I make shit happen, get shit done. I remember when Ben Ein was coming back from the US, when he got kicked out of the US. So Ben Ein was famously David Cameron bought one of his pieces to give to Obama when he got into the White House, and one of his pieces was hanging in the White House. And when he was coming back to the UK after doing a stint in the Bay Area, he was like, oh, dude, I need to do something. So I was like, cool, let's do the largest painting on the ground. That's what we're going to do. There was all these spaces in Hackney Wick at the time in East London, which Hackney Wick used to house more artists per square mile than anywhere else definitely in Europe, but maybe potentially the world at the time. So there was a lot of development going on, especially around the Olympics and stuff. And there was a lot of empty spaces. And yeah, it took like 12 months to pull off, but we pulled off the largest painting on the ground, which I think is over 25,000 square feet or whatever. We actually had images from space taken by NASA, which was really super cool. So it's always about like, make shit happen, get shit done. But how I transitioned. So after coming back off the run, I did find myself as a real estate agent for a very brief period. That's also, luckily, weirdly, is how me and Nathan, that's how we got connected, essentially.
Right.
Because if it wasn't for that brief period, because when I was younger, I made enough money, and it was pre-2008 that I was able to do some dodgy photoshopping, but I bought houses. I bought a house when I was like 18, with dirty money. Yeah, so I was like, well, when I came back off the run, I was like, well, I need to do something legit. What can I do? What do I know? And I was like, well, I bought and sold a house before. Like, maybe I'll do that. And that's when I found myself into real estate for a very brief period. And that's where I met
Isn't there
Dave.
a licensing thing you have to get licensed?
Not in the UK.
So you just said, okay, I'm a real estate agent now, and what's the steps? You were doing high-end real estate. You weren't doing like crappy little places. You
So
were doing
not just like caves. You gone, no more caves. You were now into actual houses.
Actual houses.
Got it.
Yeah, obviously they were beautiful. I just applied and did interviews with different real estate agent companies in London and central London.
Now, to be fair, if I lined up a bunch of blokes and said, pick out the real estate agent, I would not pick Louis Jensen. I would say that guy's going to take my wallet.
Yeah, that's just it definitely wasn't a fit for me. But it did lead me back.
How did you convince people? It worked. How did you sold
David loved me.
apartments?
That's how I met our mutual friend David, which means I met Michelle, which means I met you. If I didn't, sell him his building that he lives in now, then this would never have happened.
It's true.
Everything
It's
happens for a
true.
reason to a degree, right? There's always lessons to be learned, and everything does happen for a reason, as cliche as that sounds.
Judge a book by its cover. You're going to look at him and say, this guy did drugs. This guy's a druggie. He probably goes and vandalizes all over the place. Why would you think that? Wait,
He lives in a hole
bad
in the
example.
ground.
Bad example. But you get shit done. You're a good businessman. You bought a house at 18 says a lot. Even if it was with dirty money, which is another good tag name. Dirty money. Thank you.
And I had a really great accountant, I nearly mentioned her name. I won't mention her name, but like pay slips, bank statements, and had me down as a self-employed pharmacist, which isn't untrue. It wasn't untrue. It wasn't untrue, I should say. It wasn't untrue.
Oh my God. Okay. Now,
But yeah, once I did that, I met these guys that were, funny enough, working with Word to Mother, the guy that I looked up to as a kid.
Oh, whoa.
So it all came back full circle. They're like, oh, you're from the same area of the South than Tom Park, Word to Mother. I was like, whoa, you know Tom? And then I found out Tom's doing really well, like made a career, had like gallery shows, internationally acclaimed. And I went and met with him. He was like, yeah, dude, this is, what we do. And I was like, whoa. So it led me back into, and I worked for an agency for a bit where we did, and it just happens to be right place, right time. Because back then in the early 2010s, after Banksy had blew up in the early 2000s, the 2010s is really where brands and agencies started commercializing it, right? So we were doing like hand-painted murals, almost like ghost painting, like how they used to do advertisements back in the day on the side of buildings.
Right.
And I found my way through that, but I did a project with Coca-Cola, and I learned a lot because I was still in my early 20s, and I learned a lot, and it lacked integrity. Like, and we went over certain works in East London that had been there years, and I know I learned my lesson there of balancing like sacrificing integrity for money, and like where do you sell your soul? Like, how do you balance that in terms of putting food on the table, but also making your soul feel healthy? Mm-hmm. So then I at the time had met Jamal Edwards, God rest his soul, a friend of mine who passed away a few years ago. I love him because he taught me so much, even though he was so much younger than me. But he had a successful youth YouTube channel called SBTV, which was like it like showcased grime artists, and grime is like the UK, it's like a UK version of hip hop, I suppose. But it's very difficult to explain grime that. But
Also married Elon Musk or had kids with him, I think.
yeah,
Same.
Same but different. Yeah, same but different. So he was like, "Hey, I want an art arm to my channel," and he had millions of subscribers at the time. And I was like, "Okay, so that's why it's Spraying Bricks, because SB relates back to him and his channel, which his SBTV was based on Smokey Bars, which was his rap name, which was his MC name." So that's where the name Spraying Bricks comes from. But he was such a good friend to me because it got to a point, because he was so big and blew up, he came to me and he said, hey, the people higher up than me, the people that basically fund a lot of this, they want me to completely remix, because I started filming artists that I work with, and like, you know, I have such a close relationship from painting with all these people and knowing these people, and some of them growing up with these people. And so I did a documentary series essentially. And he came to me and he was like, look, the people above, they want to switch out some of the logo. They want me to be the face. And this is when it goes back from learning from the fact of integrity and sacrificing my integrity, right? And I'm so grateful that he came to me as a friend to present that to me. He was like, I understand that might not be what you want. And I said, yeah, I'll be real with you, Jamal. You're not the face. You don't know anything about this culture. You don't come from this culture. You've never painted. It's not like you do graffiti. It's not like you know these guys. Like this is my realm. And he was like, dude, if you want to break off, break off. So I broke off and I released the series on my own. Cool. And then that developed into, somehow got picked up by Harley Davidson, who saw it and were just like, wow, this is amazing. We want to do Miami Art Basel. We want a load of your artists to paint tanks. And then I was working with a very good DP, like director of photography at the time, Procopi. And we went and met with Harley because I was like, well, this is serious. I'm like 24 years old and I know really what I'm doing. Like I'm trying to make a legitimate company, and this massive global brand has come to me to do a project. And we went and met with them and realized they're lacking in the touring market. So we came up with this whole crazy concept to like tour around America with a bike and like visit artists, like take spraying bricks on the road. And then actually they were like, well, we lack the touring market in EMEA. So I completely sidestepped, went into video production for a bit, where for 4.5 months, we took a Harley Davidson street glide. We created this whole brand called Discover More. We took a Harley Davidson street glide from Jordan in the Middle East, rode around the whole of the Middle East, Northern Africa, all through Europe, up to Scandinavia and all the way back down. We did 42 countries on one bike, and it was me. I took a friend of mine who hadn't even finished university at the time, and I got them to fast track his graduation because they were like, wow, this is a crazy opportunity. You're going to go on the road with Harley Davidson and do this thing in media that you always wanted to do. And I had Procopi, who was the DP, and then I had one photographer, and we hit a different city every day. And I had to arrange all the press and everything. At 24, it was like, it felt like a lot. It is a lot.
It is a lot, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
I know. I was pissing in the dark, dude. I was pissing in the dark, but I made it work. And
you sure did. I am always amazed at the stuff that you convince people to let you do.
There's got to be an element of self-belief. I can be quite an insecure person sometimes, but a lot of it, like I'm like, fuck it, you just got to do it. If I do it, something's going to work out. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I always think that, like, you know Xander, right, Nate? Yes. He did that song in his last EP. It was like, my friend dressed in Nike isn't stressed. Because like, as much as I get sad and down sometimes, I don't get stressed. And I think stresses me out because unless my life is at risk, or unless a friend or a loved one's life is at risk, what is the worst that can happen?
Right.
Because to me, like a death of a loved one, a death of yourself is the worst thing. Anything else is just like in the ether. You know, it's just
I love this.
Fodder.
I always love looking for advice that you can pass on to someone who's trying to do something general that will help everything. And this is what's the worst that can happen? This is the advice that I think people are looking for. Wow. When you start to self-doubt and think maybe I shouldn't, and fear starts to take control, that's a fantastic question. What's the worst that could happen?
It was the worst that could happen. And even on that trip with Harley Davidson, we got in a serious car accident. We were coming through Palma because we had the support car and then we had the bike behind that we always had a rider on. And this 18-wheeler just clipped the back because they gave us, because the budget for the expenses wasn't good. Like they really, and I learned a lot about contract law through all this because I was very young and I lost the branding through that because we came up with the whole branding and a couple of years later they took it and ran with it, which led me back into artist management. But anyway, they gave us this dodgy car from Bulgaria, which was our support car. It was some guy's friend's car and the wheel axle looked like, I was like, dude, it's coming off. I can see the wheel. So went to pull over. We hit this 18-wheeler, just went bang, straight to the back, flipped us round. Luckily, everybody was safe, but he flipped, his whole cargo had flipped. And it was all styrofoam, right? So it looked like a bunch of cocaine had just like hit the 4-lane highway. And in true Italian style, so me and my friend, we were like, okay, we're fine. Let's go check on the truck driver. So we run
Let's go get some cocaine. Yes.
Dude, in true Italian style, we open the door to make sure he's okay. And he's like, Mamma mia, Mamma mia. But we're supposed to be on the road again the next day. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? No, it's okay. Like, I'm going to book us a hotel. I'm going to get us another car. And so I've always been able to, dealing under pressure is fine. I actually get more wound up with little things that should just work.
You've managed to now, though, through this. So through that, you lost the brand, which made you create another brand so you could connect artists with buildings.
I had a production company and it kind of led into like doing a lot of like fashion stuff. And fuck me, like, don't get me wrong, I like looking good, but that industry is, I don't know, I struggle with it. I really became so much more detached from the art. And during this time, like I entered back into politics, which is kind of interesting. Like I ran for mayor and...
That's the one. You ran for mayor in London, was it?
Yeah, I ran for parliament first in 2014 in the constituency in Lambeth. And then I ran for mayor in 2015.
Had you won and gotten into parliament, would you be wearing one of those wigs?
Nah, dude.
Oh, man.
No, because a member of parliament doesn't have to wear those wigs.
But if you wanted to, just this is for a personal question.
Right.
If
Would they stop you?
Nah, dude, look at this skin fade. Crazy.
You don't want to mess that up. Come on.
No, come on.
I want a wig with the skin fade.
I'm going to interject a couple of things here because I have a list here of, and we're going to get back to more of this Louis Jensen journey because it continues. I'm just going to have a list here of adventures that I've had with Louis Jensen. Just some of the things that we've done together. So we've mentioned the helicopter ride to Stonehenge, which I thought was a big deal. We've mentioned the Fatboy Slim DJ concert thing. You also took me on a fantastic, me and my family, my brother, my niece, both my nieces, Jordan and Emma. You took us on a street tour of London, which was fantastic. We've spoken about this before on this podcast because it was on that street tour that we ran into another one of our, once we were Spaceman guests, Felicia Day. Do you remember that story, Alan?
I remember that podcast. Yeah.
You remember that?
I was listening to that podcast. I was like, oh, he's talking about me.
Yeah. That was you were there that day. You were there the day that we ran into Felicia Day coincidentally in London. So coincidentally that she did not believe it was not planned.
We ran into her just outside of Spitalfields Market, if I remember. It was
yes, and I sent you a video just a month ago because I was in that same market area, and I said, "This is the spot. This is the spot where we were." Some of the art's changed around, though. They haven't. I mean, clearly, it's been 10 years.
But that wall in particular that you showed me, sorry to interject, but that wall in particular is run by the Rolling People. They've had that wall for almost 3 decades. So even
that's
though
your old hood.
Even though that wall changes, that is run by the Rolling People, which is a crew in that area, and they control that wall. So no one else paints that wall.
Are they a gang? Is that
not
like
really a gang?
Arts
There's
collective?
just like an element. No, it's just like an element of respect and honor. Like the Rolling People have that. Like, no one paints over that. If you see it painted over by someone else, it's definitely a foreigner that doesn't know the rules.
And what would happen to said foreigner? Yeah.
Nothing, dude. They just go paint over it.
On that same tour, that was that London art tour, it was also a kind of a mixed in with a Jack the Ripper tour at the same time because we'd be standing looking at some art and then you'd look down and go, also, this is where they found victim number 12. And then at the end of we went for a little beverage at a bar where Jack the Ripper used to sit outside on this porch of a little chapel, I want to say, that was nearby. And he would watch the drunk people come out of that bar and then he would prey on the drunk people.
He
was religious.
He took his last found, it's around the corner from where he found. It's 10 Bells is the bar, which actually is still there.
Thank you.
Still the same name and all of that?
And that's when I was like, that's when I saw, because you're such a generous person, Nathan. You're one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. You really are. You're very humble, and the way you approach things, you're always very caring, always very engaging. And I always remember you when you tipped the barman. That was when I was like, I don't know. You tipped the barman, and I was like, you tipped him more than the drinks cost. But you were but it came from such care and honesty that I was just like, wow, this is enigmatic. Is that the word I'm looking for?
That's my tagger name. Enigmatic. Thank you. And also Victim 12.
Another thing we've done is we've had a number of trips to Disneyland, and we go kind of
wow.
We go all out with the guide. We get like a special guide that comes in.
Wait, so now you're the guy cutting in front. Now
I'm the Mark Addy, and Louis is Mark Addy's family.
Still in the back. Still,
he's in the back trying to make sure no kids try to jump in the way he
right.
did. He's looking out for the
clothesline from hell. DDT at the front room.
Here's another one we've all shared. We've all done these, the Delusion haunted house. You've all had this experience with me.
Oh, yeah.
Alan is hilarious on these damn things. Alan is
very scary.
A joke a minute. I can't stop laughing when he's around. Louis is perfect for these things because Louis gets into it. Like Louis suspends reality. It's haunted. There's ghosts everywhere. It's his danger. Like he's in it. His heart's thumping. You can see it just by looking at him. His eyes, his pupils are wide. He's ready. He's in alert mode. At one point, we were told, quick, hide. And there was a wagon being pulled by a truck. Well, we jumped into the bed of the truck and we laid down. And some maniac comes out and gets in the truck and drives it away to another location. And now we're in the back of the truck. Our friends are in the wagon in the back. He gets out and he's circling the truck and we're just laying as flat as we can, looking at each other. And we're totally silent. We're looking at each other and there's a look of fear in Louis' face. And he looks at me and he goes, shh. Like I said something? I didn't. I didn't say anything. I'm like, what? He's just like so pre-worried. I'm gonna.
I also had to do that because like I've been told like people are like, yo, Nathan takes these seriously, and I was like, does he? Like, let me tell you.
We're just absolutely silent. We're both afraid. Like I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute. But we're looking at each other, laying down in the bed of a flatbed truck, looking at each other, and the instruction, shh. Like, I know to shush. We're hiding from a crazy person. Yes, I know the shush. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, it was really affirming the last one we did this last year where we went to the place in downtown LA, but I was like creeping, and at the end you were like, hey, you really do get into it. And I'm like, hey, like I'm into it. And like it was just like really affirming that you saw that like I creep behind or like lay down. I'm like,
oh yeah. After the end of one of those, I always kind of look around and see who's as sweaty as me because my heart rate gets real high during those things. I love to suspend that, like when you're getting chased by something, you better move.
Yeah. Yeah. I love them.
Now, you have more recently, Louis, because I'm going to add one more tour. You gave us a tour in Paris. I just ran into you in Paris recently.
Oh, wow.
We did, yeah.
Did a fantastic tour in the hottest June on record in Paris.
Till next June.
It was hot. And then got you taken on a rooftop as well, just to be more in the sun.
Louis had us meet him at this little spot. He goes, there's nothing about this spot that's special except we're getting on the train here so that we can drive through this elevated train track and see this whole neighborhood as a whole where all these incredible murals are up on all these buildings. We get to the end, jump off, come walking back a couple miles through this neighborhood, ending at a gallery where we met the artist who had these phenomenal pieces up. And then we met the couple that ran the gallery. And then they took us in a car to a rooftop somewhere else where we could look at all the houses, all the murals on the buildings from a rooftop, and popped open some champagne and had some snacks and stuff for us.
Nice. Oh, this is great.
It was amazing. So that area is, just to like give name to the area, but that is the 13th arrondissement. And the gallery is Gallery Itinerants, and they curate all the artists there. It's like Shepard Fairey, Invader.
Oh, cool.
D-Face. We've done with D-Face, we've done 3 murals there now. They've really taken over that whole area. It's curated very well. And yeah, like Nate says, you could take the train up from Bercy and then just straight up, see everything in a flash, and then you get off and just walk back down slowly. It's beautiful.
How cool.
What's really nice is when you're hanging out with Louis and he's showing you around these things, anyone you encounter, be it D-Face, be it that lovely couple that ran that gallery, the artist we met, everybody loves Louis and is ready to like step up and, let's do a little something extra because Louis here. Let's let's pull out all the stops because Louis here. Oh, Louis has some guests. Let's show them. Like everybody is very happy to see you, Louis.
I don't know how to take that. I'm not very good at taking compliments.
which is something I understand and it's an experience I can share with them. Now, you recently started working on something. It's not unlike the art tours you take me on, where you take me to crazy neighborhoods and meet wonderful people and see a sample of a piece of a city that you would never likely see. You're talking about making a TV show, aren't you?
I am, yeah. In Frame.
What are you going to call it?
In Frame. That's the working title right now.
What have you done so far? Because I saw the sizzle reel for this.
You saw a concept piece that I'm putting together for the pitch, yeah.
It's like a travel log type travel show where you go around and...
So where it developed into going... If I'd revert back to the story just to finish that off, after like a stint in politics for a little bit, art was always in the background there, and it became back into the foreground. I leant back into it because I do work closely and have been fortunate to paint with so many internationally acclaimed artists. Specifically, D-Face was the one in London for me at the time. And he basically opened up doors for me. And, and I like to feel like I took the skills from how I grew up in a kind of gang-esque culture. I took some of those skills and then applied them into art. And I've mentioned this before, but art is more deregulated than the drug trade. It just is. So to apply those skills into art, I know I can then, a lot of artists, they're great at creating, but they're not necessarily savvy in business.
Right.
And you do, as an artist, you do have to treat art is another business, you know? So there has to be, and what makes a business like worth its weight is the processes that you add into it, whether that be in production or in obtaining work, etc. So I found myself in like creating these opportunities for artists. And over the last 15 years, I've been so fortunate enough to travel to I've been to every continent. I've been to I've been to 96 countries now, and there's literally nowhere I can go and not know someone or know someone who knows someone.
Oh, cool.
So
great.
The whole idea came, and what actually really inspired me is that I'd go to Miami every year for Miami Art Basel, right?
Right.
And I'm so jaded. I've been doing Art Basel since 2011. And when we used to go there, Wynwood itself has become so gentrified, and it's a lot to do with like the local real estate there and people pushing out the kind of local community. And I just, in 2011, we would paint there and still get chased by the police. You couldn't get a packet of cigarettes or a beer for like a mile. You just had the Wood Tavern or Gramps Bar. And I've just seen that place evolve into what it is now, where like we were painting recently and there's like a huge double-decker tour bus. And then people they were asking me to take photos, but not with me. They want to take my brush and pretend that they're taking photos. And I was just like, dude, this has become ridiculous. And the facade of Miami anyway is like the general consensus is that it's like this flashy, like pretentious place and everybody has to party, be half naked. It's just like, it grosses me out. And then my friend Hawks, who I manage down there, they call him the mayor of Miami. Like he has more murals in that city than anyone else. And he was like, dude, you really need to come and see my Miami. It really frustrates me that you slate my city so much and you're so turned off by my city. Please come see my Miami. So 2 years ago, and I even went in the height of August, which is the most if people know and go to Miami during August, know that's the most unbearable time to go. It's the most unbearable season in terms of humidity, rain, the sun. It's just unbelievable. But he showed me this other side, which was just the nature there. We went kayaking and like you can really escape there. These like kind of different like little communities, like in Little Haiti and Little Havana, and like just all these like really like local mum and pop restaurants and bars. Cool. And there was just so much more to do there than what, is just like on this like face of it.
Right.
So that was kind of like, I was like, wow, here we go. Like I have access to artists that other people don't have access to. And if I use Hawks again as an example, the whole idea is that I will fly to these places, go to Miami, say Hawks is the overarching artist. he takes me into Miami, shows me into Miami, but we also meet the other artists there. So when I was in Miami, also Alexis Diaz is a friend of mine. He does all the Bad Bunny's artwork. And so like I'm very well connected, and I can break down barriers with these people that other people can't, right? They feel comfortable. Yeah. If I sent you a load of interviews that Hox has done in the past, you see how rigid he is and how uncomfortable he is. But with me, we've been friends for over 10 years. We've done some crazy shit together, like for the last 10 years. And so there's this element of like being comfortable and vulnerable with me that like they can open up. So the whole series is like, showcasing the city, like the city is the lens, but the artist is the subject, right?
Oh, that sounds so great.
You have a very particular access. You have a very particular position in being able to enjoy these things. And now you're taking this opportunity to share your fortunate position.
I mean, even like there's places like I always bang on about it. Like if I had the disposable income for it, Bentonville, Arkansas. If I had, I'd buy a home there. If they had an international airport, it'd be even better. But they just have Fayetteville, which is a local airport. But Bentonville, Arkansas has this crazy, like it's the home place it's where the Walton family are from, right? It's where Walmart started.
Right.
But they've cultivated such a beautiful art community there, and like there's this beautiful music venue, and it's very progressive for
really,
especially for a city. Oh, dude, I love Bentonville, Arkansas. Every time I get a project there to paint a mural, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
You're like the ultimate Walmart greeter right now. Everyone come to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
I've been sent in, a bunch of places, in crazy places in Japan and Korea, and I know creatives in all these places, like internationally acclaimed creatives, right? So I have access to all these, and that's what makes me very fortunate. That's what makes me rich, is these experiences, and that's what I think I'm always chasing, right? It's like, how can I be rich in experience? And that's why I end up saying yes to everything, even though I know I'm probably going to be in over my head a lot of the time.
I don't think I know anybody who travels as much as you do, Louis. You must have incredible air miles somewhere.
I do. I really do. And I have loyalty as well.
You travel a lot. Mm-hmm. Where's home base for you? Where do you consider home? There's a pause here. You don't even know.
A safe house.
Because obviously I split my time between New York and LA. But the people in LA have really, Michelle has really made me feel like this is home. Like if I met someone, I found someone, and it's like, I'll come meet the family. Like I feel like I would bring them to LA. But I live in New York, right? That's how that's how I kind of see it. Even though obviously London is home. I don't know. I do feel like if someone, I suppose London and LA feel like home, and I live in New York. Does that make sense?
I hear you. It's just that's a lot of places to call home.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of time in Miami too, and Paris a lot recently. So I don't know. It's everywhere, but LA and London feel like home.
I'm glad you didn't get any of those political jobs that you were pursuing.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not the mayor.
Yeah. I think this will be a much better service to this show, hoping it goes and people are able to see it. That would be a great service to the art community and to artists, and just to show people, teach people what's here, and and to expose artists that maybe don't have the exposure yet. And also the art industry. I'm interested in that, what you mentioned about it being unregulated and stuff, man. That's
unregulated and misrepresented. I talk about this a lot. Like women make up 50% of the artist community, but they only have a 15% representation in the gallery world.
Wow.
In the US, Black artists make up less than 5%. So there is a huge misrepresentation as well within the art world. And that's something that I want to kind of lean into as like a sub-subject, I suppose. But
yeah, shine a light on it.
Yeah, bringing light into that. And also going from where I came from and to where I am now, I'm incredibly grateful. And I really do feel like, as conscious beings, right, that what separates us from another species is the enjoyment of art. And whether that would be art in nature, art in architecture, or building, or just art on the wall, anything, art as like a person, like modeling or photography, like, how people look, how clothes look, fashion, everything. Like that's what hits our senses, right? And I saw this quote from Tracy Emin, who's one of my most favorite female artists, based out of the UK, originally from Margate. But art is the most purest thing that we have. It really is, more than anything. Art is pure. It's the thing that we just connect to. It's the thing that doesn't have any other, ulterior motive. It's there to enjoy and appreciate.
Yes. When it's honest, when it's true, when it's there's like coons, would you say?
I fucking hate coons, dude. I really do. I do really like his Michael Jackson sculpture in the Broad Museum in LA.
All right.
I do, that one I do like, but
he has an ulterior motive. Cha-ching.
Sung about that
What
guy.
would you
But,
have
he comes
given-
from finance.
As a young artist, what would you have given to run into someone like you in your career who could say, hey, I want to put you into contact with this guy with this building?
What would I have done at a young age if I met someone like me?
Sold him drugs. Listen, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Let's be real. Yeah, possibly. I would like to caveat that I am almost 8 years sober, though.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
I know.
8 years.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So,
In our last podcast, which hasn't come out yet, I'm recently 15 years sober. So on the same journey.
amazing. Yeah, I heard that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Congratulations. It's,
Cool. Yeah, you too, man.
Each day as it comes. But yeah, going back to that question, I don't really know. The thing I would like to say is that within art in general, you don't just have to be an artist. There's other avenues to explore with art, whether you're a curator, collector, an agent. Like, there is space. I think the space is open further than just being an artist.
Right.
There's also ways of doing art where it's concept, you can be the concept creator, right? And then you have people Jeff Koons, that's exactly what Jeff Koons does. Jeff Koons doesn't paint. Jeff Koons doesn't sculpt. He has a concept and he has a team of people that do it, right?
Wow.
So I think I just think it's very important to find different avenues as well. If you feel like, I can't draw, I can't do this, but I'm so passionate about art, then find another way. Maybe I act as a consultant a lot of the time for different artists. And then I also feel like someone asked me recently, and it's just like, what would you do? What advice would you give to someone? And I'm like, it again sounds so cliche, but just put yourself out there, get into different gallery shows. If you find events that are art related, put yourself in them, because you need to be seen, you need to be mixing with people, because like anything in life, it's about who you know, not what you know. That can always come later. You can learn it. Fake it till you make it.
Ooh, I love that. I'm big on that advice. Louis, did we miss anything incredibly important? Because there is always so much with you that it was so hard to know where to start, and now I don't know where to end.
How about finding out something about you? Finding out something.
Let's get to know you better.
I know you and you know me. Let's get to know you better.
Okay, so this is the bit, Louis, you know it well. This is where you have to tell us something about you that we don't know. This will be easy because, my God, you have a quiver of these things always on hand.
Because I've heard this, and for some reason, my mind always wants to go to places that are probably disgusting.
Would you like one of us to start first?
Yes, Alan, why don't you start, Alan?
Honestly, I don't know if mine are I always want to go to things that are R-rated.
That's perfectly fine to do. I'm got mine. The one that I have up here that I wrote down the other day is very pedestrian, literally. I realized, and I've been doing this for several years now, as I walk around New York and really anywhere where those moments where where places are crowded and you end up walking towards somebody and you have that negotiation of, I'm going to go right, you're going to go left, I'm going to go, which way are we going here? To avoid those situations, I point to where I'm going to go. I'm always hand signaling. I use my hands as blinkers about where I'm going to go. Whether there's like a bike coming down, I'll point to where I'm going to go and I walk straight to that point so that they're always confused which way I'm going to go so they can miss me. If somebody's coming straight for me, I point to the right, I go right. I point left, I'll go left. I'm always avoiding people by pointing.
Is there confusion as to like when the point happens, the bike goes, oh, I thought you wanted me to go there.
I point my head at the same time as my finger, and I just start walking towards it. So far, no one's hit me.
I like that.
But I realized I might look a little strange if you're a little ways off, just watching this guy walk around pointing and sort of zigzagging around. But that is how I negotiate the world around me.
It may look like you're a little on the spectrum.
Yeah. A lot of things I do look like that, almost to the point where, at what point does it look like it?
At what point? Yeah. You're never off the spectrum. The spectrum is from here to there, so you're always on it.
Yep. So that is my getting to know me better. And it was something I realized, this is probably something not a whole lot of people do. Oh, also, if someone is walking towards me with their head in their phone and they're walking straight towards me and they can't get a hand signal, I clap. I learned this from a guy who's a really tall guy. He said that people would do this, but he just would walk and clap low, like clap at his waist. Clap, and people will immediately look up and walk around. It works perfectly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I clap and point around. It's a show. I'm putting on a little show. It's stomp. I'm doing stomp as I walk around the city.
Louis, have you had time to?
So I'm loving, I appreciate humanity. I'm grateful for everybody. There's never any real malice in me. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? Normally in day-to-day life.
Okay.
But then there's the gym. I am a dick. I'm such a dick at the gym.
Because you have no patience for people doing their thing at the gym?
It's my church. It's my church. And you come in and destroy my worship, I'm fucking angry, dude. So I give you an example.
Have your headphones on, you have your head down, you're in a set, and someone comes and goes, "Can I work in with you?"
Well, that I don't mind. What annoys me is bad gym etiquette, right? So I give you an example. I was with Xander. This was like last year, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you come test my gym for the day? You can work out with me." And I'm pretty sure he regretted it because we haven't been back to the gym again together. But because he doesn't like confrontation. And there's someone on the pec deck going at it, and then he stops. He's sitting on his phone. So I walked up and I was like, "Hey, how many sets you got left?" He was like 3. I was like, "Okay, cool." Back on his phone, I was like, I just want to check, is that 3 sets on your phone or 3 sets on the machine? Because I'm confused. And he was like, and then I turned around and Xander bowled off somewhere. Everything okay? And he was like, I have to go here. And I was like, oh, you are right. And then, if I'm on like in New York recently as well, as I'm at the gym and there's the squat rack. And someone has got a bench in front of the squat rack and doing dumbbell shoulder press. That annoys me because I can't. No one can use the shoulder, the squat rack. So I'm like, I use fouler language, but I was like, are you guys stupid? I was like, can you just move out of the way? And then they had there was the actual personal trainer from that gym there, and I was like, you're even worse. Like I get really irate, really angry, and I can't say what I would be saying in these situations because I don't want to be foul on your podcast, obviously. But I am a dick, and then I have to immediately, once I've kind of relaxed and done my sets, and I go up and I'm like, hey, sorry, a little bit, a little tense. But bad gym etiquette. I hate people that don't understand because, fitness has always been like such a prevalent part of my life. I played for England in the 13s. I was a championship K1 fighter. I was a freestyle skier. And I run every day. I run marathons. Fitness is so important to me for my health. It's the only thing that's actually in my life that's always been consistent from the moment memory started happening for me. So like I take it really seriously, and it's like there's been a resurgence of like people want to keep fit and healthy, but I'm like, man, no one's really. There is an unspoken rule. And what do you know? What also annoys me? Sorry,
I love this. Go.
Okay, so I go to Planet Fitness, right? Because I go to other gyms as well. Like I use another one in LA, and there's in London I use a different one, but Planet Fitness because what's the most amazing thing is it's $20 a month. I can go in anywhere in Canada, anywhere in Mexico, and even when I'm in buttfuck nowhere, Arkansas, there's always one within 3 miles. So I'll always have a gym. I was in Fort Worth, Dallas recently, and there was 2 within a 5-mile radius. So I use it, right? The whole thing is like, this is a no judgment zone. But they have this sign called, they have a Lunk alarm, right? And the Lunk alarm is you can't be wearing a Gold's Gym tank. You can't carry a big jug of water. You can't grunt, and you're not allowed to drop your weights. And I'm just like, isn't that a judgment? And it really, and I've only ever had it go off once, and it's so funny. I had it go off in Inglewood. I was like, oh, dude, I'm in the hood, and you're gonna run a Lunk alarm on me?
What's a Lunk alarm?
You got the Lunk alarm?
What
did you do? What was your offense?
I was doing like, I had like 50 pound each side. I was doing like just press with dumbbells, and I just went woo, woo, and I dropped them, and then the thing went woo, 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 like it's like a siren in the middle of the room.
Okay.
Wow.
But the hypocrisy of being a no judgment zone and having a Lunk alarm, which is based on judgment.
Yeah, that's...
Now, I have mixed feelings about this because wouldn't that have been nice if you had a Lunk alarm for those fellas at Xander's gym so you didn't have to say something?
Exactly.
But at the same time, you're in a no judgment zone and you feel you got lunked for something that's maybe not really lunkable.
For actually using the gym. I think, and I also think that unless you're using your phone, because I do use my phone to log my exercises, right? I think unless you're using it for that, don't take a phone in. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be able to use your phone.
Yeah, people will just, they'll just,
It frustrates me, man. And also, I get really arrogant in my head, which I'm just, this is what I mean. This is a get to know you. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I'm such a dick at the gym. Because I look at these people and I'm like, that's why you don't look like me. Because you're doing this sort of shit. Like, if you had the same mentality or the same ethic, then you might look like this. Because I get people all the time, they're like, oh man, maybe you can write me a regime. Maybe you can do this and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you ain't going to do the work that I do.
I'll just for the listeners at home, I'm just going to fill them in. Louis Jensen is a physical specimen.
Yes.
And he's a handsome fella. He's a tall fella. He's got an 8-pack. He's got abs. And here's a quick story. Louis was going to go to a Halloween party, and I said, "Oh, what are you dressing up as?" And he goes, "Oh no, man, I'm not dressing up." I said, "Dude, it's a Halloween party," and Alan,
you love the Halloween. That's your favorite.
I love Halloween. It's fantastic. I said, "I have a costume that will fit you. You can wear this costume. You'll love it." He goes, "No, I won't be into it." I said, "You can show your abs." He goes, "What is it?"
Dude, I was straight round your house. I was like, yeah, let's get it on. Let's test it out. And then you flew the drone, and I was like, yeah, dude, this looks real good. You flew that drone.
So yeah, so we threw some goat horns, some curly goat horns on his head, and a vest, a furry vest, and I had made goat leg pants with like hoof shoes that are really tall. So he was like about 7 foot tall, goat legged. Fawn man, a satyr.
Satyr, that's it. Yeah, I was a satyr. And what was really funny because obviously what was beautiful is you made that first of all. Like I really you made every part of that, which was phenomenal. Yeah. But obviously the shoes had heels, and I went to a Halloween party that was predominantly my Asian and Mexican friends, and so I'm 6'4" as it is. So I'm out there at 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was up to your nipple.
It was.
They were eye to eye with your abs.
It was really intense. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. Felt like Gulliver in there.
I got to tell you, I'm really pleased with your indignities about being at the gym. And I think what is required and what you like is what I like, which is what I call CCR: courtesy, consideration, and respect. People suffer the world over from entitlement, and they don't give a crap about whether or not their day is affecting someone else's day. Have a great day. But as soon as your day starts stepping on someone else's day, you're doing it wrong. You're doing something wrong.
And I want to thank you. I want to
just
real quick just thank you for giving me my tagger name, which is Lunk Alarm. Thank you. Now I have Lunk Alarm.
All right, my get to know you better. I'm going to also have a social indignancy. When I'm walking down the sidewalk, this happens to me a lot. Someone will be walking towards me. It's always a man. It's never a woman that does this to me. Someone will be walking towards me, and they have plenty of sidewalk, whereas I don't have much, and they're not making any moves to like give me the room I'm going to need just to go straight. So there's going to be a collision. And the expectation, I'm guessing, from this other person is I have to move. Whereas they've got all the room to move, it would be more prudent if they did. But I have them, and I think, Louis, I think I asked you about this. Do people do this?
I was about to say, we spoke about this in Paris.
That's right. Because when I'm walking around in a big city, it happens more often. And my solution for it is I'll just stop and like look at my phone. And now when you're walking towards someone, the kind of the social agreement is, well, one of us is going to move because we're both in motion. So one of us is going to have to move.
Right.
But if I stop and now I'm not moving and you're moving, the social agreement is now you got to move. You're already in motion. So you keep going. Now you circle around. And I'll stop and stare right at a fella. Right? And it makes it a different kind of a thing. It makes it a much different kind of an interaction rather than it's two people passing by in the street. Now it's me stopping and looking at you going, go ahead and make a choice. I'm watching you.
Because they have the option to come and clip you with their shoulder.
And they will if they don't move. And I'm like, I'm up against a building or there's someone else right next to me. Like, where do you want me to go? Push my date out of the way? Like, what's your plan?
The funny thing
I got to go
about that
off
is
the sidewalk into traffic?
I'm hearing Alan's and then hearing yours, and I'm now envisioning what that situation would be like. Like Alan's like,
I'd be clapping.
You're like, no, I'm just gonna stand here.
I'm clapping and pointing.
It'd be like glitch of the Matrix.
I'm just standing there in front of him, staring him down.
What the hell do we do? Is that how you two met? Is that how you became friends?
Oh, that's great.
Okay, Alan, what is, we're coming to the end. What is your tagger name and DJ name?
I think I'm going to go with Lunk Alarm for my tagger name and my DJ name. What was the better DJ name?
Something Cage.
What is it?
Oh, Fear Cage.
Fear Cage.
Fear Cage.
Fear Cage.
All right.
Fear Cage.
Yeah.
Okay, Louis, this is your chance at a second tagger name.
A second. I mean, I still, to this day, because I used to do a lot of chin-ups. I still do a lot of chin-ups. But I do chins with a Z. Or occasionally I'll write disco just because I like the letters and I like to dance. So
all right. Will that be your DJ name? Is Disco?
Nah, my DJ name. Interesting fact: Shepard Ferry's DJ name is DJ Diabetic, which I thought was, just chucking out a pointless piece of knowledge there, but it's really interesting. I do like that. I don't know what my DJ name would be. What would you give me?
My tagger name I decided is Pigwagon. Like wagging a pig, not like a wagon for pigs, but like I'm wagging a pig around. Pig wagon, right? And then my DJ name I decided is Sticky Floors.
Sticky Floors.
Yeah, because it was smoky bars, and I was thinking, what other things are a thing at a bar? And I was like, a good crappy bar has a sticky floor.
That's
really
really
sounds
good.
like a blues name.
Yeah, it does.
The dance floor always has a little bit of drink on it.
Sticky Floors.
Sticky Floors.
I think Golden Nails. That's a DJ.
8-pack.
8-pack. There you go.
DJ 8-pack.
There you go.
Yeah.
8-pack.
Well, buddy, what did you? Wait, I'm going to ask you my last question, which should have been my first question. What was your first impression of meeting Nathan Fillion? That was back in the day. That was at D-Face's studio in London.
Yeah, I was. That was the year I went sober, but I definitely wasn't sober then.
Were you looking at me going, "Who's this guy"?
Well, no. It wasn't
did you
even
care?
that at all.
Was I on your radar?
I did care. Because Michelle means the world to me.
Agreed.
She really does. So, and anything she says I take as gospel anyway. So if she says, "Oh, Nathan's cool, Nathan's nice," then immediately you are, right? Like I have loyalty is a big thing for me. Right. No, I thought you were amazing. I did think, I was like, what is he wearing?
What was I wearing?
Because you're wearing these jeans and it was the shoes, and I get it, you were wearing walking shoes, but I was like, he doesn't look like an actor.
Oh yeah. I really have zero.
I'll be real with you, but part of that, but like everything about you, like I said, you were so engaging and so lovely. And as our friendship is growing, like I can see that wasn't just like a first, because a lot of the time when you meet people, they have a representative. And then you get to know them, and that representative fucks off, and you get to see the real person, right? But with you, that's always been a continuous thing. Like nothing has ever changed. And like I am honestly, truly grateful for our relationship and, the experiences we had. Like I feel very fortunate.
Me too. I love looking at my social circles and seeing people who I call unlikely friends. And the very idea that you and I should ever even cross paths is ridiculous. In what world? In what world does this Canadian guy and this London dude, do our paths ever cross and become, these guys will be friends now forever? When does that happen?
Dude, where I
At a
grew up
rave.
from, I didn't even think I'd be in LA, but I'm here, There's a lot of things I'm like, oh, what the hell? But yeah, meeting you and, calling you a good friend is a beautiful thing. And I'm very grateful for it.
You did the artwork for this very podcast, Louis.
Thank
you.
you.
Be honest.
I did.
Did we ever pay you for that?
You did. You paid.
Thank God.
You paid me what?
A friend
you paid
fee.
Me more than you should have.
Well, I know that you were doing us a favor, and
I was trying to do it for free.
and we were stuck. We like, hey, we need it now. We need to do something now. Like we need someone like a proper artist who could do that. And then Louis said, "I'll do it."
Yeah, and I also painted the back of your house.
That's right. Louis did a mural for me.
It's more of a statement than a mural.
Somebody tagged the mural. We did a beautiful mural, and somebody tagged it.
Oh.
That's another reason I'm like, I'm not big on taggers, man. That took nothing to just, I'm going to go,
But they did they do it on the face?
Yeah.
Because there is certain things like that Rams, who I was talking about. Me and D-Face did this huge mural in Williamsburg that you can see over the Williamsburg Bridge, right, on the J line. Called Get Me to the Moxies on the side of the Moxie Hotel. And Rams came down it, but the way he came down it, there's two faces on there and they're driving this car. The way he came down it was like in the middle of the negative space. And there's that's what I mean, because the street giveth and the street taketh. So there's certain, I can't get angry. I can't.
This is snot-nosed punk stuff. They did crappy jokes and no regrets. And they did dumb stuff. Nose rings. Like, that's not, sorry, no quality. You get no love from me.
Wait. I have a nose ring though. Like, there's nothing wrong with a nose ring quality though in a person, right?
No, my niece has one as well. She's things my niece wants to know. What's the craziest place your art has taken you? She was thinking about a story where you went to China. You got taken hostage.
I was literally going to say when I went to China and had to escape out of this tiny little compound and took a flight to Russia, got stuck in Russia. That one? Yeah. Do we have time to do it? I can give you a quick rundown of the story.
Do it.
If you like. Okay.
Yes.
So me and this other artist, Himbad, based out of London, we got an opportunity to go to this project in China. So we fly to Beijing, we meet this guy, Dr. Wu, who runs this organization there. And he showed us his house in Beijing. It was super beautiful. And then we drove like 6.5, 7 hours kind of west of Beijing into this tiny little village. The population is probably 250 to 300 people max. And they were hosting us there. And we did the opening ceremony there. Like they had this stage and me and Himbad ended up rapping on stage, which was kind of funny just for the opening. And then we were supposed to like paint murals. And so I painted a mural, Himbad painted a mural. And we also were doing like canvas pieces for like a little group show at the end. And anyway, one day we're like, because this was, again, the height of, I was still drinking and using at the time and I couldn't get anything out there. We ended up snorting ginseng quite a lot of the time because we couldn't find anything else. We were getting ginseng and snorting ginseng, which is wild. But then we left one day, the little village, to the nearest town just to have a drink, have fun. We've been there like a week. And we get back and this Dr. Wu was like, what are you doing? You can't leave the compound kind of thing. And we're like, what? Like, why not? And then he put guards on the door. This is weird. And then as time went on, like we had a week left. And then I did actually have another project that was in either Berlin or Belgium. I can't remember. It was somewhere around there. But I was like, hey, we need to leave. But the weather had been so bad. He's like, we can't have the closing ceremony. And I was like, cool, I can't wait for the closing ceremony to happen. Like I have other projects I need to get on with. He was like, no, you can't leave. You can't leave. We need the closing ceremony. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're being paraded for his funding. Like he gets paraded to his sponsorship, etc. So anyway, he left one day and I was like, fuck this guy, dude. Like everybody's living in poverty here. He has a house in the center of this village, but it was like walled up, right? It was like a 15-foot wall. I was like, fuck this dude. Like there's something fishy. I don't like it. So I got on him. Bad is like the same height as me. So he hoisted me up. I was like, I'm going to break into his house. So he hoisted me up.
That's great.
Got me over. And then, yeah, literally, the door was open because after you jump over the gate, the surrounded area, everything's open. So I walked in. I realized he had internet. He had a computer and perfect electric, even though we were like using candles to walk around the streets. He had running water because we were just using buckets to shower in. And holes in the ground to for the bathroom, right? And he had a running shower, toilet, bath. So I let him bad in and we started like using the place. Like I had a bath. I was like, oh, fuck this dude. He's like, because in my head, I'm like, he's taken advantage of the villagers. He's taken advantage of our charity to like give something to this town and this village. And any money should be distributed across the town, I would have thought. Like for for reconstruction of the place. We taught at the school there and it was just like, you wouldn't send a barn animal there. You really wouldn't. So I was like, no, I'm leaving, dude. So I spoke to my host family and I arranged to have him pick me up outside the walls. It was like 2-3 in the morning and I left him with all my stuff, like my clothes and the rest of the money I had. And I just I would hop the fence, right? And that was the plan because Dr. Wu had still not come back at that point, but there was still like guards at the front gate. And but before that, I'd already painted this mural. And what I did is the village was in the shape of a phoenix because they had this tree in the middle that had died and come back to life, right? So that's why they did the village in the shape of a phoenix. And there's a river that a small stream, river that run through the middle of it. So originally I painted the river and the tree and the phoenix, all in the respective colors. But before I left, I was like, screw this dude. So I painted the tree black, I painted the phoenix black, I painted the river red, and I painted a dragon on top of it, right? So keep that in mind. I jumped the fence. It took, the train station was supposed to be like an hour away, but like there's certain areas in China that you can't take white folk, etc. So it took us 6 hours to get to the train. Got to the train, took the train to Beijing, and then took a flight to Russia. Because it was the first flight out. And then from Russia, I went straight back to London. Anyway, they emailed me. They're like, you can't do that. You're under contract law. And I was like, I'd like to see you try and hold Chinese contract law up in the UK. And, went back and forth. They're like, okay, well, at least give us a synopsis of your piece. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So the river is running red of the blood of the villagers. And the tree and the phoenix are black because they're overshadowed by Dr. Wu, who's represented by the dragon. And I never heard from him again. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That tickles Alan.
That's great. Yeah,
I never got invited back.
Alan loves sticking it to the man.
Who doesn't? That's great.
It just upset me, man. It just upset me the way the villagers were treated. And I was just like, this is not right.
Also, the imprisonment was a little bit much.
It is, but I don't really care about that. It was more the fact of what am I giving? I'm giving to him and it's not for the greater purpose, right? The greater community. He was so lovely. Me and him, they put us up in their house, the host family put us up in their house and 8 of them slept in the lounge because they can, it was just, it's just everything about it. There was just such beautiful people who were so grateful even just to see us, see foreigners there, and then to bring art to it. Because art is so important. Sorry to ramble on, but I'll give you another key example. In Miami in 2014, we painted the San Jose Middle School, right? And in the year, it was the end of the year because it was Basel. But in the year of 2014, they had 92 call outs from the police to that school. And in 2015, they genuinely had 0. So the effect that like art can bring to like a community, even a small community, is huge.
Yes.
Incredible.
Get your show up. I can't wait. Everyone support it. If you see it, we'll talk about it as it progresses. Yeah, man.
Louis, thanks for doing this. I know I promised you an hour. You've already gone well over it, and I appreciate it very much. Thanks for this was wonderful. I'm so glad that people are going to get a chance to understand exactly a little piece of who Louis Jensen is. When we mention him in the end credits, people will now.
And now people will have an eye out. They'll see you all over the place because you are all over the place. So, and you're not stopping. So fantastic, man.
We'll post some photos of things going on. Alan, why don't you why don't you take us out of orbit?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Once We Were Spacemen. Oh, we're going back into orbit. This planet looks wonderful. Oh, there's life forms on it. They're small, they're furry, and they have no teeth. I think we'll be fine. Touchdown! See, I gotta figure this ending out.
Why start now? I learn a lot every time I talk to Louis.
Buddy, I cannot wait for that show. I hope his show happens. Something's going to happen no matter what, whether it's that show or something else. Like Anthony Bourdain, he's sort of the main, like when people think about really cool travel log type shows.
Yeah. Yes.
It's because he was legit. He was a chef. Yeah. He had a perspective. He had a point of view of life well lived. I get that same sense from Louis.
I'm going to send you a sizzle reel that that he showed me. You are not going to be disappointed. You are going to be thrilled with what they're coming up with for this show.
I'm going to get sizzled.
And I'm really glad. I think one of the things we can really walk away with here is having a tagger name and a DJ name.
Yeah, it's about time. My DJ name was Puffy Rice. It's so outdated.
My DJ business card just had a blank on it.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Just blank.
Shooting blanks. That's a terrible DJ name.
The null set. The empty brackets. All right, man. That was fantastic. Yet another one. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Once We Were Spacemen. If you haven't yet, head over to our Patreon to get bonus content, longer episodes, and a chance to take home some incredible crap. And if you love the show, please leave us a review and tell your mates. Once We Were Spacemen is a Collision 33 production. The show is produced by Michelle Chapman, Siobhan Homan, and Josh Levy of Collision 33. Production services are done by Rabbit Grin Productions, and the theme music is of the minds of Carla Sosa and Joshua Moore. And then there's the artwork, created by me, Louis Jensen, aka Spray and Bricks, aka Ghost Painkiller. And yeah, this is a true, real, authentic South London accent. So don't get it twisted, Nathan. Allow it, bruv. Stay blessed. Until next time.
Give us your fingernails, mate. Give us your fingernails.